Zack Snyder's $670 million blockbuster that rebooted a universe finds new life on streaming. DC Comics is getting a new franchise with James Gunn's DC Universe, which has officially kicked off with Superman. However, before the new franchise, it was Zack Snyder's time to shine. In 2013, Snyder was at the helm of another film that rebooted the universe, Man of Steel. The film came after the success of Christopher Nolan's critically acclaimed The Dark Knight trilogy and kicked off the DC Extended Universe, which lasted for a decade until 2023. Although there's a new Superman out in theaters, Man of Steel has found a new life on streaming, enjoying a newfound popularity on HBO Max. Flix Patrol reports, Man of Steel is currently in 7th place on Max's global top 10, just ahead of Grown Ups 2, Anora, and 21 Jump Street. The film's popularity is not surprising because the Snyderverse, which is what Zack Snyder's vision during his time at Warner Brothers is called, is still extremely popular. His versions of the superhero comic books were extremely popular with some fans, although some of them took it to some extremes. For example, a few weeks ahead of Superman's premiere on July 11th, Snyder fans called for a boycott that didn't work out. Man of Steel had Snyder at the helm with a script by David S. Goyer, who developed the story with Nolan, who was a producer on the film. It starred fan favorite Henry Cavill as a titular superhero, as well as Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, Lawrence Fishburne, and Russell Crowe. Man of Steel kicked off the DC. Man of Steel wasn't a favorite with the critics, who gave it a rotten score of 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was close enough to the 60% threshold for a fresh badge. Audiences had more positive things to say about the superhero film, giving it an enthusiastic 75% approval score. Zack Snyder's film was also a hit at the box office. Produced on a budget of $225 million, Man of Steel grossed 3 times as much, ending its run with $667.9 million, and further adding $120.8 million from DVD and Blu-ray sales alone via the numbers. The superhero film was successful, but it eventually never got to receive a sequel, despite several attempts. However, Henry Cavill's Superman was vital to the franchise, which featured 13 films and a TV show, Peacemaker Season 1, which has also crossed over to the DCU. Cavill reprised his role as Kal-El Clark Kent in 2016's Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, as well as the Justice League films. The franchise had several successful entries, including Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, the latter being the only film in the franchise to pass the $1 billion milestone. Overall, the DCEU grossed over $7.2 billion against a $2.6 billion budget.